tricky maneuver that I had to do to get over. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delana. Thank you so much for joining me. Excuse me. On this channel, we talk about things that give us a different perspective so that we can give ourselves grace in this crazy experience that is humanity. I promise you I will shorten the slogan one of these days. But until then, I really just want to talk about something that has been in my spirit for the last couple of days. I feel like if you can read my energy right now, I feel a little bit tired, drained, you know, like I'm not my upbeat, jovial self today. And I understand the impact or the purpose of having a channel to entertain, to inform people on the internet who you want to watch your content, is to be engaging, to give them something to take with them of value, and also make it enjoyable to watch. You know, there's all these like rules about how you should make content for other people to consume. And I may not be talking to content creators, but this can apply to any part of your life. Whether you feel like you're supposed to be performing for a job, or performing for a relationship, or performing for your children, right? Because some people do that too. I know firsthand. But this is your reminder that it's okay. You do not have to be on 100% all the time. Okay? No matter what I do in my life, I know that every step that I take, every lesson learned, every person that I am introduced to, every gateway that I walk through is for me. Now, what part of that is for me to experience once I get in there. Whether it's for me to experience something that I don't want, whether it's for me to experience something that I need, a lesson, whether, you know, those types of things, that's up to the universe and how I experience it. But no one, that's not what I want to say. It is not a requirement to be 100% on all the time. It's not feasible. It's not realistic. We are human beings, and we experience a full wheel of emotions, a full wheel of experiences. You can 100%, if you would like to, experience everything in humanity with a smile on your face. You can, if you would like to. That could be your promise you made to yourself. That can be you trying to mask certain things. But I promise you, right now, you will burn out. I promise you. Because we are meant to experience the entire wheel of experiences of humanity within our lesson paths. Not saying you're going to experience every single thing. I don't know that much about the universe, right? But you're going to experience so many different types of things that are going to warrant many different types of reactions, forming very many types of belief systems and coping mechanisms and relationships based on that. But if you're not giving yourself enough grace, and you're also allowing yourself to be around people who don't give you grace, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay? You do yourself a disservice by creating this false narrative of an experience. Like almost like creating a script. Like, oh, well, if I'm going to do this, it's supposed to go like this. Here's the script. Here's exactly what is supposed to happen. And I should be prepared for every single thing that's going to happen in my life, and I should know exactly what to do with it when it comes. That's just not how it works. And if you're not allowing yourself to be human, how can you be more than human? Now, some people who watch this channel, some people who are on their healing journeys, some people who are on their spiritual journeys, everybody doesn't aim to be more than human, right? Because a lot of, in the spiritual community, there's a lot of talk about enlightenment and transcending humanity and transcending the mind and the body and all this transcendent stuff, which is fine, which is great. It's not always everybody's goal, okay? It's not even everybody's goal to heal. We'll start there. But you can never expect to be more than human if you never allow yourself to first be human. There's a certain, there's a way to evolve. But how do you know what you're evolving from and evolving to if you never allow yourself to be the very thing that you came here to be anyway? A lot of us are very unique and special. We have gifts, we have abilities, we have sensitivities, we have disabilities as well, okay? And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, because look, I don't know what political correctness is anymore. That's not my name. My aim is not to offend. So let's move past that. But we all have our different things about us. And as we go through this human experience, some of those things suck, right? Some of those things suck. Some of those things we could do without. Like, man, I wish I didn't experience chronic pain all the time. Man, I wish I wasn't this size or this color, or I wish I didn't have this kind of hair. I wish I didn't have only one good eyeball. Like there's certain things about us that, yeah, maybe in a perfect world we wouldn't want those things, right? But it's not about being the perfect human. It's about creating the meaning, creating the heaven on earth that we can create if we allow ourselves to just accept where we are, accept who we are, and have as little suffering as possible. Because the more that I learn on this path, the more that I realize that suffering is a choice. Suffering is a choice. Just like happiness is a choice, suffering is also a choice. So we don't necessarily have to suffer if we choose not to. But one thing that I can attest to in my personal life that has always made me suffer more than I needed to is trying to mask like everything was okay. Because it only creates internal suffering. And that's and like, say if you're someone who is like on the spectrum or ADHD or mental illness or anything like that, those are internal quote unquote disabilities. And those are the ones that people can't see. Those are the ones that people judge you the most harshly for, because they can't see, oh, you don't look like this, right? And anytime that we allow ourselves to suffer internally to make it look like everything's fine on the outside, we're signing ourselves up for even more difficulty than normal. I'm not saying that you should be out here squealing from the rooftops that I can't, I'm not. But it's more so about just simply advocating for yourself and giving yourself the grace to move authentically. Because what else is there? You don't get an award for being the most fake or the most put together. You don't get an award for that. And you certainly don't feel great about it either in the end. You don't feel great about it in the end. When you get to the end of your life and you're thinking about all the things you could have did, could have said, would have been, had you just. No. I don't sign up to live a life like that. And I've already spent enough of my years trying to pretend like everything is okay, trying to pretend like I got it all together. And it's not necessarily that I was trying to pretend that way. It was just that's all I knew. All I knew was to grin and bear it. If I was going through something, there would be close people to me who would know that I was going through something. But even then, like, I had to learn that not everybody who's close to you means you well or even empathizes with you. Some people just want to hear your shit stories just so they can feel better about themselves. Because in their mind, they can't conceive how someone like you or someone like me can be going through those things, could actually put up with certain shit, who could actually have these types of experiences. Hold on one second.
Please press us. Welcome. Please tip. Welcome. Please proceed into the call.
But on the outside, I was like, don't nobody need to know my business. That was my words. That was my MO. They don't need to know my business. They don't need to know what the fuck going on with me. They ain't gonna do nothing to stop it. I don't need nobody. I don't need to be nobody's charity case. That was my mentality. But that's because I grew up moving around. I grew up changing communities every year. I didn't feel like I had people to fall back on. Not truly. And in even the people that I kept around for a long time, I started to feel like I was outgrowing and starting to resent the experiences that I was having because, some people in my life were holding on to old shit that I didn't want to hold on to any longer. And so, like, a community and help and having your back is something that I learned in the military, but then I got out of the military, so now I'm back into the real world, the civilian world. And I'm like, how do I cultivate this? And so there's a sensitivity to navigate those waters, because if I'm not joining an already established community where people already know each other, they're already tight knit, and you have to get to know people, and everyone in that group has to get to know me as a person, and you almost seem to worry about where you stand and what are the dynamics, and it can be a stressful situation, at least for someone like me. I'm not necessarily saying that this is for everybody, because some people thrive in very social groups and stuff like that, but joining a group that's already together as a new person is something that can be very messy. Okay, it can be very messy. It could be very good, depending on the group, what are you all there to accomplish, but it can also be very messy. And I've experienced both sides of that. And so it could be tempting, especially for someone, like, if you're used to masking, it could be tempting to remask, to, because you have to put up certain boundaries. You have to get to know people through layers and not let people get too close too quickly, not to get too involved too quickly, or to overexert yourself too quickly, or at all, but you have to, kind of you can't give it all at once. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And so just because you can't give it all at once doesn't necessarily mean that you have to grin and bear it all the time. It's okay to show up as authentically you as possible. Communication is going to be your best friend when it comes to that. But do not put that pressure on yourself again to try to be this perfect person, or try to fit in, or try to tailor your interactions to the people that you are trying to talk to, and stuff like that. So I know I'm working on my language, but I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what you should or should not do. That's not my goal. But these are reminders. These are reminders because sometimes, like I said, it could be tempted to kind of remask. It can be tempted to try to go back to that comfortable place of, not trying to be too much of a burden, not trying to be too much, not trying to take up too much space, like in these new spaces, because we are, if you're aligned with me and my energy, yes, we're in new spaces right now. There's new things coming up for us to the surface, new opportunities, new alignments, and the old stuff, the old shit is not gonna work. So I just want to remind me, you, the collective, that you do not have to always be on 100%, and you don't have to always be perfect. Okay, in fact, perfection does not exist. For my intents and purposes, perfection does not exist. Everyone is perfect and simultaneously perfect and not perfect at the same time. But perfection does not exist. So be you, be great, be authentic. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself to show up how you are, okay? Because also remember that you never know what someone in your vicinity needs to see. Like, you're just simply being you 100%. And maybe that gives someone else the courage to speak up. Maybe that gives someone else the courage to be themselves as well. And when I say maybe, I would almost guarantee that you will allow other people to sit in their authentic energy as well. So with that being said, I hope that this was helpful. I hope it made sense. Of course, I'm on my way to work, as you can see, and I hope that, you know, you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Full moon in Leo in full mother freaking effect. Okay, I'll tell you that much. And I really hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. If you want to work with me one-on-one, as I said before, send me an email. If you're ready to make transformation, change in your life, if you're ready to be held accountable for your actions, if you want a shadow work reading, or if you want a personal reading in general, hit the email. I'll be happy to help. If you want to support a creator like me, join the Patreon, where I post all my videos and content, poetry, music, and anything else going on in my life that I feel is for your eyes only. Okay? Your eyes only. So, other than that, I want to remind you that God is love. Love is you. You can do anything that you put your mind to. I'm going to catch you guys next time. I love you. Bye.